They uprooted their entire lives to move me to Music City. And even though words are supposed to kind of be my thing, I will never be able to express my gratitude.
Taylor Swift has hit another career milestone. On Thursday, June 11th, the Grammy winner became the youngest woman ever inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame at age 36. Ahead of the ceremony where she gave remarks, Swift posed on the red carpet where she was joined by Sombr, Jimmy Jam, Universal Music Publishing President Evan Lamberg, and CEO and President of Songwriters Hall of Fame Linda Moran. Once inside, she was seated at a table with her family, including mom Andrea Swift, dad Scott Swift, fiancé Travis Kelce, and his parents, Donna and Ed Kelce. Before taking the stage, Steven Spielberg introduced Swift, calling her a genuine phenomenon placed in our culture.
I love making movies, but I don't think I will ever fill stadiums of multi-generational fans who want to recite the dialogue from Indiana Jones. That's just not going to happen. But when Taylor steps onto the stage, her words are sung back to her by a devoted audience that does not want to be anywhere else in the world in that moment. So tonight is a recognition that while she wrote "You Belong with Me," in the most profound way, we belong to her. So thank you, Taylor, for the gift of your stories and for insisting on being an authentic voice in a world where the line between real and fake is increasingly blurred. You are our mirror ball. And tonight, to again steal from a great, great songwriter, Taylor, I just want you to know that this is me trying to tell everyone that in my book, you are evermore.
The pop star began her 21-minute speech by explaining why her voice was raspy and her choice of Spielberg to introduce her.
The quality of my speaking voice is, it's the product of two things that I'm not sorry for. One is that I was lucky enough to go to a Knicks game last night. Screamed for 100% of it. And then I got home and I was like, you gotta stop screaming. You're screaming too much. You're screaming instead of talking. You're too excited. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna scream tonight. And then I got to witness the amazing performances that I saw tonight. And then I just kept screaming. I just never stopped screaming. And so this is what you get. And again, I make no apologies for that. I've had a blast. Tonight has been amazing. I want to begin by thanking the person who introduced and inducted me tonight. He thinks that this is the first time he has inducted me into something, but what he may not be taking into consideration is that through his decades of spellbinding storytelling, Steven Spielberg has unknowingly inducted me and countless others into his sacred club of expansive world building.
She went on to share how songwriting was the easiest thing she ever did, reflecting on writing her first song ever as a preteen.
And not that my songwriting didn't haunt me relentlessly until I cracked the perfect internal rhyme scheme for the third line of the second verse, to the point where my teachers called me out in class for not paying attention, because that definitely happened. But when I say that songwriting was the easiest part for me, I think what I mean is that it was instinctual. No one taught me how to do it. I had to be taught how to entertain a crowd and learn choreography and be less annoying and navigate the industry and fiercely protect my own sanity. I had to learn all of that over time through difficult lessons and massive amounts of trial and error and chaos and calamity. But songwriting for me is pretty much the only thing I ever just naturally did. As a little kid, I loved to sing, I loved to do children's theater performances, but everything came together when I learned to play guitar at 12. I wrote my first song after learning my first 3 chords. It felt easy to work incredibly hard at this.
The artist later choked up while thanking her family, noting how they uprooted their entire lives and moved to let her pursue her dreams.
And it was easy to choose songwriting over everything else in my life. But it couldn't have been easy for my parents and my brother, I'm good, to just pick up and move our entire family from Pennsylvania to relocate to Nashville so that I could hone my craft in the songwriting capital of the world. But after it became obvious that this was not even remotely a temporary phase their tween daughter was going through, they uprooted their entire lives to move me to Music City. And even though words are supposed to kind of be my thing, I will never be able to express my gratitude to you guys for doing that for me. You're the reason I'm here today.
Swift, who shared a story about writing her hit Love Story, also discussed negative feedback and criticism, explaining how she approaches conversations with young writers.
What I hope you discover is this: you can be sensitive, but also durable. And you can accept that feedback and skepticism and criticism are inevitable. You can take what's useful or constructive from that information and leave out what's simply damaging to your creativity. No one does or should make art that appeals to everyone, everywhere, all the time. My favorite art is detailed and singular in its voice. Therefore, it can't be digested and metabolized by everyone who experiences it in the same way. I'm very frequently told by people how they feel about my music, that they never really got my music until they got their heart broken or started driving their daughter to school every day, or until I made an alternative album in the pandemic called Folklore, or that they only like the hits, or that they only like the ones that weren't hits, or that they don't like any of it at all. But it doesn't feel uncomfortable for me to get feedback of all sorts, because I know where I stand regarding the work I've made.
At the end of her speech, the global superstar expressed how humbled she feels when fans connect to her songs.
Nothing makes me happier than when someone tells me that they used to listen to my music with their parent, and now decades later, they listen to it with their own child. I'm good. Or that they listen to it with their best friend, or when a couple tells me that Love Story is their song. Or somebody does like a cute little dance to the Fate of Ophelia, or I hear people in different countries singing Opalite in their own accents, or someone tells me that the song Enchanted gets their baby to stop crying. It's, I'm humbled by the ways that fans have immortalized my songs in their own individual ways.
Swift has had a busy and exciting week as she kicked things off Tuesday in Los Angeles at the Toy Story 5 premiere, which she collaborated on a soundtrack titled I Knew It, I Knew You, and then was cheering on the Knicks the next night at Madison Square Garden, who ultimately won by 1 point against the San Antonio Spurs in Game 4 of the NBA Finals.